we break it down, and we want to, hopefully this is our goal. We want to help people incorporate this into your witness when you're talking to Muslims.
Exactly.
Break down the lies that they say and shatter those, barriers, and then, present Christ to them.
Exactly.
So that's our ultimate goal now. So we're going to be getting into canonization of the Quran. How did that happen? What kind of processes went on? And how we can use this in our witness to Muslims when we reach out to them.
Absolutely. Now, someone named Prophet Mercy says, respect Muhammad. Should we respect Muhammad, Jai?
No.
No?
No, we shouldn't respect Muhammad. Why shouldn't we respect Muhammad? Because did Muhammad respect us?
No. Matter
No,
of
he
fact,
didn't.
we called you the worst of creatures, Jai.
The worst of creatures.
You gonna take that?
Exactly. So no, man. There's no respect for Muhammad, and also, look, Muhammad is responsible for billions of people over history and until present time being deceived about Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not someone we need to respect. That's someone that we need to expose.
Exactly. All right, guys. So you heard it here. We're about to get into some information that is going to equip you in your witness. You are going to be able, we're going to break it down so simply that you are going to be able to, if you do this correctly, if you take notes, rewatch this, get it into your mind, make it like second nature, you will be able to use this in your ministry and in your witness to Muslims and even those who are ignorant about Islam, those who have been deceived by the popular Dawah script that there's one Quran, no mistakes. It's the only book that has ever been perfectly preserved, which proves divine providence, right? Divine influence, that God has chosen this religion as his truth. So we're about to get into some information that I want you guys, hear me. Please, we're not doing this just for fun. We want you guys to be equipped to use this in the field, spread this information. The reason why I believe that Islam is as big or popular as it is in a lot of areas is because these people are ignorant about Islam. If people even know the basic things about Islam, it would fall completely.
Yeah.
If every average person can just refute any Dawah table, it's over. So this is what we're equipping you guys with. All right, so I'm gonna bring up the screen for you, Jai.
Right.
Thank you, Chad Wilson, for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Everybody subscribe to Jai and DOC. It's in the description and in the title. Let's get them up to 7,000 subscribers by the end of this live. All right. Let's get them up there.
Thank you, man, so much. Thank you, everybody as well. God bless, brother, and God bless everyone. So I want to just go back. By the way, Daughter Christ DOC, she will be here probably when we start getting some Muslims in, especially once they start lying and stuff. We're going to bring her in. So, so right now, we're going to get to this presentation a little bit, and then hopefully we get some Muslims who want to challenge the things that we present in here. But just to kind of remind everyone of the different levels of this, I want to bring up Yasser Qadi again and just kind of give a kind of overview, just a reminder what we did last time. If you haven't seen that stream, definitely do check it out. And we also offer this presentation for free. So since last stream, have got a lot of people contacting me saying, can I get the slides? Can I get the slides? Definitely, you can get the slides free of charge. The only thing that I ask is that you do not charge people for this material. Freely you have received, so please freely give it.
Amen.
All right, so here is a video I want to get started with, and then we'll get into where we left off last time.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Every single student of knowledge knows, who studies Ulum al-Quran, that the most difficult topics are ahruf and qira'at. The concept of ahruf and the reality of ahruf and the relationship of the Uthmanic Mus'haf with the ahruf and the preservation of the ahruf. Is it 1? Is it 3? Is it 7? And the relationship of the qira'at to the ahruf. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out. And you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward and difficult. And this isn't new. This is from the time of the Sahaba.
All right, so we're gonna stop there because I wanted to just remind people that those 3 levels, right? You got those 3 levels, right? Right, brother Godlogic, you got that
Yeah.
beginner level.
Mhm.
That's 99%. Honestly, I really think that's 99% of the Muslims we interact with.
I think
I
so
don't know if
too.
you agree with that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that's like 99% of the Muslims we interact with. That beginner level, when they're presented with this type of information, they deny it. They say, no, you guys are lying. We'll even play them audios and they say, no, you guys clip that. And then we'll show, no, you Photoshop that. It's like, so that's the beginner level, right? And then they get a little deeper into it. They ask someone about it or research it. And okay, there are different Qurans actually. They are
Mhm.
different Qurans. But and then they have some sort of, but they complement each other, or they just give magnitude or glory to God, and they all kind of work together. And then you get a little deeper and it's like, oh, wait, hold on. There's problems here. That the standard, you know, standard explanation doesn't have explanations for. Okay. So that's kind of where we wanted to start out. So this is a chart here about government instituted canons of the Qur'ans. And this is from Shadi Nasser from one of his books. He presents this. I figured, you know what? You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So if someone did it, then you just you know what I mean. So I don't. So I just use the material that's already out there, and for God's glory. So here we have a basic canonization. Number one. Here's when Muhammad dies. It's 632, and then you have the first canonization. This is the time of it's about 20 or so odd years later, where you have Uthman who canonizes the Quran and burns all the variant versions. And we're going to get into this in more detail. And then from there, you go plus some years. And actually, is this the one where I have? No, okay. So then you go bit more into about 300 plus years later. You have someone called Ibn Mujahid, very important figure in Islam. Ibn Mujahid, he's the one who founded and canonized the 7 readings of the Quran.
Hmm.
And we're going to spend, like I said, more detail on each one. We're just going to give a brief overview right now. Then, much later in the 12th century, you have Adani and Ashatabi. These two people introduced. So you know how when we are looking at Hafs, it says Hafs from awesome. You know how we see that, like, okay, Hafs from awesome.
Yeah.
So Hafs is one of the transmitters, and awesome, he is the reader. Okay, that's like his reading. And so his reading, you can only access his reading through one of his students. Hafs is
Mm.
one of his students.
Mhm.
So what they did was, because these guys had like 10s and 20s and 30 students, and they all disagree with each other. So one person would say, oh, awesome said it like this, he said it like this, he said it like this. So what they did was they limited it to 2. So today you have each reading, like awesome, he has 2 readers, Hafs and Sharaba, for example. Those are his 2 readers. So that's an important point, because prior to that, you had multiple transmitters or multiple students giving different versions and takes on what his reading was. And then you have Ibn Jazari coming in the 15th century. The Quran's still not fully canonized at this point. We're talking the 15th century, where he adds on 3 more readings that become canonical readings
Wow.
in the 15th century. And then he sticks to that true transmitter process. So he has 1 reader, like awesome, and then 2 students for that reader. So
Mm.
altogether, you have the 10 readings. Each of the 10 has 2 students. So 20 in total. And then you have what he calls the 5th canonization. Now, there are different dates on this: 1923, 1924. This is the Al-Azhar edition of the Quran, where they printed it and kind of mass produced it to where that's the Quran that Muslims have today, that they think this is how it's been ever since the beginning.
Right.
So a little bit of detail here, but we're going to get into it and break it all down.
Mm.
So you might be asking this question, what about the Quran of Abu Bakr? Because we started with Uthman, but before him, there was Abu Bakr. And here's the story in the hadith about Abu Bakr. It's in Al-Bukhari. I have the reference here on the screen. And just kind of going over the key points in the story, Zayd is narrating, and this is Abu Bakr. He's kind of making a ruling, or he's making a decision after they were in this battle called Al-Yamama, People make jokes about that, saying "your mama," like
Mama, gotta your mama.
yeah, it's a good funny way to remember that, like "your mama," that's the battle. That was the battle. Okay, and so many people who had the Quran memorized died in that battle. They were killed. So he had a fear, and he said, "So these guys are getting killed off in the battle, and Allah says He's going to preserve the Quran. So what's going on with that?" So he's saying, I actually have this fear that a large part of the Quran is going to be lost because all these reciters and memorizers are getting killed off in the battle. And I remember listening to David Wood talk about this before, and I think he had a great point. The Muslim thought process were probably like this: Allah promises He's going to preserve the Quran, so everyone who has the Quran memorized, you put them on the battlefield, and Allah is going to preserve them because they're the ones who the Quran's preserved from. But that didn't work out.
Stupid.
So this is a really interesting question that they ask next. So Zayd is commissioned here by Abu Bakr, and he says that he wants you to collect. He wants Zayd to collect the Quran. He says this. How dare I do something which Allah's messenger did not do? Right? So Allah's messenger, Muhammad, he never collected the Quran, compiled it all together, put it into a book, and then, passed it out like that. So he's saying, how could I do something that Muhammad never did? And then there's a big discussion, Omar and everyone's involved. And eventually it says, Allah opened their chests, probably like some, he opened their chests, he opened their understanding. Okay. So now they're all on the same page. All right, we're going to do that. We're going to make this Quran. We're going to make this Quran happen. So Zayd now, he compiles the Quran to the best of his ability. He goes out to try to find people who have it memorized, or whether it was kind of, transcribed in different ways that they might have transcribed it back then. So it mentions here in the hadith, I'm just kind of skimming through it, but it says like date palm trees and leafless stalks and things like that, like different kind of leathers and things like that, maybe some pieces of stones, wherever you could find the Quran transcribed. He went out on a mission to try to do that. So supposedly this is the first, according to Islamic sources, the first process of collecting the Quran and making it into one book. So you might think, okay, so what was the point of Uthman doing it later on? Now, this is where it gets really interesting. So before we jump too much ahead into that, I want, like, what did Uthman do? I want to just focus in on this. And this is all, I have all the sources for this. I have the Arabic, I got everything, all the sources. So I have translations as well. So Muslims, I wasn't able to find English translations of this stuff. So we had to do our own translations and we put it up here. But anyone who comes up and they want to dispute it, Muslims come on later on, we'll definitely go into it and we'll, parse it out and see what it actually says. So now skipping past Abu Bakr, now this is kind of interesting how the Quran was passed on. So this Quran, it went from Abu Bakr, then it went, so he was the first caliph or khalifa, and then it went to Omar.
Right.
And instead of going from Omar to Uthman, it went from Omar to his daughter Hafsa, the wife of Muhammad. So for some reason, it went from government leader to government leader, not to the next government leader, but to his daughter. Okay. Now Muhammad's wife, his daughter, right? So check this out. So what happened to that Quran? So after Uthman made his compilation of the Quran, after that happens, they wanted to gather that particular manuscript that Zayd had done for Abu Bakr, and they asked Hafsa about it. And they want the leader of Medina. His name is Marwan, and he asked Hafsa to give that Quran, give that manuscript, so he could burn it, because he was afraid that it would be different from the one that Uthman did.
No way.
Yeah. So he was afraid. The leader of Medina, the Emir of Medina, wanted to get Hafsa's, because remember, it went from Abu Bakr to Omar. Then after Omar died, it went to his daughter Hafsa. So it didn't go like to Uthman, which you would have thought it would have went to him, but it didn't. So they tried to get it from Hafsa. She refused. But the reason why he tried to get it from her was so that he could kind of see, okay, is it different from the one Uthman did? We don't want to cause confusion. So this is what happened next. So when Hafsa died, It says, I'm reading on the second part now. When Hafsa died, Marwan urged Abdullah bin Omar strongly to send him the manuscripts as soon as they return from Hafsa's funeral. So she dies, they go to the funeral. The first thing that they want to get is this Quran. It says Abdullah bin Omar sent the manuscripts to Marwan. Marwan spread them out and burned them, fearing that there might be differences in them from what Uthman, may Allah have mercy on him, had compiled. So what happened to this Quran of Abu Bakr? It was burnt. They destroyed it because they feared that it would have differences to the Quran that Uthman had.
I never knew that this. I never knew this. I thought it was a smooth transition. That yes, they requested it, and then Hafsa sent it over,
right?
Or they got it from her house or whatever. I never knew that she refused to give it up at first. Wow.
Yeah, she refused.
Ja, yeah, you've been holding back on me, man. It's
wild.
Well,
that's what we got here, man. We're presenting it all, and we want everyone to know that this is exactly what happened. Okay. Wow. And so now we can go into this Uthman, what actually Uthman did. So we know now, in part of this process, what Uthman did, he had leaders designated to different regions. The leader, the Emir of Medina, was the one who made this ruling, and he burnt Hafsa's, which was actually Abu Bakr's originally Quran that Zayd compiled. So imagine this: Zayd compiles the Quran for Abu Bakr, and then Zayd compiles the Quran for Uthman, and then Zayd's first Quran was burned. Can you can you think of what possible reasons why that might? Right?
No, the first one.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, man. It's the same guy compiling it. So why is that? So that's one of the questions we can mark that down and ask that to the Muslims. All right.
Dude, I didn't know this. I didn't know this.
Yeah, man.
You didn't tell me Zayd's first Quran was burned.
Yeah, man. It was burned. Yep. The first one that he compiled. And it's crazy because the fear was that there would be differences in it. But why would there be differences if it was the same guy who compiled it? Right? Because we're just going by the Islamic sources. Now, if you go to the outside of Islamic scholarship and you just try to look at people who are trying to be objective with the evidence, they don't really buy into that first story. They don't believe it. But we're talking to Muslims who believe it. So they're going to have to convince us that the same guy who compiled Abu Bakr's Quran, the same guy who compiled Uthman's Quran, Zayd, the same person, why he would have so many differences between his two Qurans, that there was a fear and first one had to be burned.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. So let's get into the backdrop now from Uthman. Like, what happened to kind of cause this problem where he needed to compile one version of the Quran? So this is a story here, and we have the Arabic sources, but I could find an English translation for this one. It's from the book called The Collection of the Quran from John Burton. So I'm just using his translation here. We checked it with the Arabic, and it's very good. So this is all. By the way, I can give all the references for this stuff too. Muslims come up, they want to challenge things. We got all the references. So this is kind of the backdrop of what was going on with Uthman's compilation process. Why did he do this? It says, we were sitting in the mosque and Abdullah was reciting the Quran when Hudayfa came and said, the reading of Ibn Abd, which is the reading of Abdullah ibn Masud, and then it says the reading of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. It says, by God, if I am spared to reach the commander of the faithful, I will recommend that he impose a single Quran reading. Abdullah became very angry and spoke sharply to Hudayfa, who fell silent. So, okay, so you have in a mosque, you have there's one mosque, and the guy who's instructing people, he's saying, those who follow the reading of Abdullah bin Masud, come over to this corner. Those who follow the reading of Abu Musa, go over to here. And so this made Hudayfa very angry. And he's like, well, this is confusion. We have one mosque and two different Qurans being recited. So you guys go over here. You guys go over here. And so this is what really got him confused too. when they got to the Quran, chapter 2, verse 196, they didn't agree with each other. So in this verse, today's Quran reads it, perform the pilgrimage to God. Perform the pilgrimage to God. So in Arabic, lillah, to Allah, to God.
Mm.
But the others, it didn't say lillah, it said lil bayt, which means to the house. So like maybe like the house of God, like the Kaaba. So one of them is saying perform the pilgrimage to God, and the other one is saying perform the pilgrimage to the Kaaba, to the house of God. And so this caused confusion for Hudayfa. It said he became very angry. You see in the red there that I highlighted that? He became very angry. His eyes reddened and he rose and he parted his clothes at the waist, and it was, he did this all in the mosque. So
Wait, so this wasn't dialect.
no,
He
this was
didn't get
not
mad.
dialect.
It sounded different.
Nope. It wasn't a matter of pronunciation, this or that. You had one reading the Quran. And by the way, we have the references on the side as well. So Ibn Masud, for example, he added, the way he read it was the house of God. Other people, they read it just the house, the house. Ibn Masud had two different readings for that. Ibn Abbas as well, to the house. So, so perform pilgrimage to God, perform pilgrimage to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And this made him very angry because they couldn't agree on. Just imagine just one single reading, just one reading. Well, imagine if he stayed there for the whole Quran to be recited.
Yeah, that's tough.
He would have lost his mind. He would have lost his mind.
Wow.
So, so this is now kind of the backdrop to that. So Hudayfa now, the guy who was just in the mosque where he heard those two different versions of the Quran, he now is coming to Uthman and he's saying to him, "Look, you need to do something. You need to save this nation." It says, "Save this nation before they differ about the book as Jews and Christians did before them." So he's trying to say, like, look, if you don't do something to step in here, then we're gonna end up like Jews and Christians. And I always ask this question. I'm like, if you're gonna end up like Jews and Christians, first of all, we have you have like Old Testament, you have New Testament, so you have a completely you have an additional like 27 books, right, for Christians. And we have different obviously different beliefs, different doctrines in certain areas. And so he's comparing Muslims to two different religions, right? So he's saying we're going to end up like two different religions basically, or different religions.
Yeah.
It's big. It's a big deal. And so then we get into the story here about what exactly Uthman did, and so he eventually, we don't have to read the whole thing here, but eventually,
before you do that, I just want to hinge on this point here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
That guys, we hear the narrative that from the time of Muhammad, the miracle of the Quran is that it's been so simple and so easy that even children were reciting it from memory from the time of Muhammad. Yet here we have, when we actually look at their sources, that their differences were so bad that they thought that it could split the religion in two, to where you have one side of the religion versus another side of the religion in Islam. They would be two different religions because of the differences that they had in their Qurans. Not dialect, not pronunciation, not how one says a word or how one recites a particular word. No, these were differences in reading, in text, and this is how bad it was. Okay. Now let's see what Uthman did. Go ahead.
All right, so that's a great point, because that one of the things that Muslims always say is that the Quran is memorized. We don't rely on we rely on oral tradition. We don't rely on written tradition. We don't rely on written text. So look what Uthman does, though. He burns all these different copies, these written texts. Why is he doing that if it's all just memorized?
Exactly.
Right? So if it's all memorized, it doesn't matter. Like, let's say I have a book in front of me and I say, hey, bro, I got this all memorized. So you burn that book and you're like, all right, that's going to stop me. No, it's not going to stop me because I got it memorized. Yeah. So what's the point of doing that? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. My question was, why is he sending Zayd? Why do they have to go collect the Quran if they memorize it?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I mean, Abu Bakr, he was Muhammad's best friend. He doesn't memorize the Quran.
Right.
Umar, he don't memorize the Quran. Uthman, these guys don't memorize the Quran. They're caliphs, for crying out loud. They don't memorize the
Exactly.
Quran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Muslims today, they tell us, hey, we have like these little 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year. They have the whole Quran memorized. If you guys burned every Quran, we could go to that one person. Well, how come back then they couldn't do that?
They
How
couldn't
come
do
back
that
then?
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he gets his committee together. And by the way, his committee, I don't really spend a lot of time in this presentation, but we can do it maybe, we could do it amongst ourselves or maybe another time. But the committee that he gets to kind of write this Quran, these people were not senior companions. Like, for example, you have like Ali, he's still alive. You have Ibn Masud, you have Ubay, you have all these companions who grew up like they knew Muhammad. They had a big part in his life while he was alive. These
Yeah.
guys were all children when some of them had nothing to do with Muhammad. Like they were like kids when he died. So it's really questionable. And by the way, guess what? Apart from Zayd, every single one of these people is related to Uthman. So he gets 3 people that are they're like his son-in-laws, like they're married to his daughter. Yeah, and he gets these 3 people and he gets them on this committee. He doesn't consult these senior companions who were alive in Muhammad's time. And we're going to see that Abdullah took issue with that.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think that people missed that,
Yeah,
guys.
let's say it again.
In the compilation of the Quran, putting it together, getting it together.
Yep.
Uthman had people. He assigned people who were family members, people who were son-in-laws and stuff like. He assigned family members instead of people like Ibn Masud, who Muhammad said you should learn the Quran from this guy. Like instead of people like that, he assigned family members who were, he has authority over in that way, in that sense, to do his bidding. Guys, imagine if Paul did this. Imagine if we had something like this in Christianity, where Paul reconstructed the Bible in his image and assigned people that he was family with and close with to do it, instead of going to Peter or John or something like that. Just imagine that. They would be all over this. Wow.
Exactly. And that's a really great way to illustrate that these points, because if the shoe were on the other foot, Muslims wouldn't stop talking about this stuff. So the question is, why aren't we doing that to them? Because they would do it. You know what I mean? So we
exactly,
like equal weights and equal measures. If they're going to use it, if they would use it against us and try to discredit our religion based off of that, then we should do the same thing to them. If they think that kind of thing would discredit Christianity if it existed, well, this thing does exist for Islam, and it does discredit Islam by their standard. So,
let's super chat out for us, Ja, real quick. He says, Logical Faith says, I've been binge watching your videos. I'm learning so much. May God bless you, man. Thank you so much, Logical Faith, for the huge super chat. And if you're binge watching my videos, make sure you subscribe to Giant DLC and binge watch the material that's about to be uploaded there, because his channel is about to be all of this. All of this, you guys are going to be able to get this all the time from Giant DLC. Information like this, sources, books, pages, all this kind of stuff where you can go out and put this in your witness and be equipped. So, man, thank you so much, Logical Faith. Make sure everybody, Jai and DLC, subscribe. It's in the description and it's in the title of this video. Let's get them up to 7,000 subscribers. That's the goal for the stream. All right, let's continue.
Amen. Thank you, bro. All right. So as this it gets the plot thickens, right? so there's other things that we can highlight about this, but one of the things that we really want to point out here is that one of the companions that you and I had both mentioned, Abdullah bin Masud, he was objecting to this, and this is what he says here. This is the kind of the on the right side of the page. This is the yellow highlighted chunk of text right there. It says Abdullah bin Masud dislikes Zayd bin Thabit copying the the copies of the Quran, and he said, "Oh you Muslim people, I am removed from recording the transcription of the Mus'haf, meaning the Quran, the written copy of the Quran, and it is overseen by a man, by Allah. When I accepted Islam, he was but in the loins of a kafir, a disbelieving man, meaning Zayd bin Thabit. So Abdullah bin Masud is saying, you want me to follow his Quran? I've been following Muhammad since he was a disbelieving little child. You want me to follow his Quran? It's insulting for him.
Wait, so Jai, because it's kind of cut. What specific reference is this?
Okay, this is Jama al-Tirmidhi, and I should have had the link on here, but I can easily pull it up if we need to pull this up. But this is Jama al-Tirmidhi, and this is found in that book. Okay. But we can get specific references on Sunnah. It's on Sunnah.com, so we can get specific references. It should have been, like you said, it's cut off in the bottom there. So check this out. You have Abdullah bin Masud objecting to Zayd's Quran, and he's saying, Muslims, I don't. Can you believe this guy? This guy was a little boy when I knew Muhammad. He was in the actually it says in the Arabic he was in the backbone, because Muslims believe that's where sperm is produced. And they say loins, but actually in Arabic it says the backbone. He was in the backbone of a disbelieving man when he was a Muslim, he says. So this is huge. You have a huge companion like Abdullah bin Masud, who Muhammad said to learn and take the Quran from. He's rejecting Zayd's Quran. And by the way, the people of Kufa, which is where Abdullah bin Masud's Quran really took off, they continued to use his Quran for 200 years, even after this ruling from Uthman. They continued to use it. And so that's significant, because he had readings that were so different than Uthman's Quran, that, like legal rulings, for example, like for example, if you were caught stealing, if you were being punished by his Quran, then only your right hand would be chopped off. But if you were in another part of the Muslim world and they were using Uthman's Quran, it doesn't specify which hand you cut off. So I'm just saying, it's like, oh, your hand's cut off either way. But if you're following one Quran, you have one ruling. The other Quran is more ambiguous. So depending on what part of the Islamic world you lived in, if you were being ruled under Abdullah's Quran, then it would be practiced differently.
Wow.
So Islam,
I found the link, by the way, too, guys.
Yeah.
So here's the let me put this link in the comments. Here's the hadith that's on the screen right now. Here's the hadith. It's Jamiat Tirmidhi 3104. 3104. Okay. Jamiat Tirmidhi 3104 on Sunnah.com. Greatest Sahih, man. This is authentic. They can't say nothing about it. All right, man. Whew, that's tough. Okay.
Yeah.
And we also got a super chat for you, man. Shout out again from Logical Faith for Jai and DLC, man.
Appreciate that.
I have to ship that over to you, man.
Thank you, man. God bless. Okay, thank you. We'll talk about bro. So check this out. So check this out. So Abdullah Masud rejects Zayd's compilation, and he's saying, and by the way, he instructs his other people. It says it continues on. It says, and it was regarding that Abdullah Masud said, "O people of Iraq, keep basically the Quran, the copies of the Quran that are with you, and conceal them." So he's saying, don't give your Qurans up to Uthman. Don't do that. So this is a vocal objection from one of the senior companions of Muhammad Muhammad said, learn the Quran from. So wow. This is huge. And then you have other ones that are more implicit rejections. Like, for example, Ali and Ubay, they didn't vocally object to this process, but they objected implicitly because they continued to use their Qurans that Muhammad taught them, or that they said Muhammad taught them. So in a way, they did reject it as well. Now, there's a video that I want to show right here. That's kind of a summary of what's really kind of up in the air here. But what I want to say is that Abdullah's Quran, Ibn Masud, his Quran had different chapters in it. He didn't consider the last two chapters of the Quran or the first chapter of the Quran to be inspired by Allah. He took them as just to be prayers. He might have said Muhammad taught them, but he said these are prayers, these are supplications, but they're not actually part of the Quran. And then you have Ubay, another companion, who had 2 extra chapters in his Quran. 2 extra. So check this out. We're gonna have 2 scholars kind of summarizing what we just said right here. Check this out.
this, that there are 5 kind of controversial surahs about whether or not they belong to the Quran, and these are Fatiha. It was called Al-Mu'adhatani. That's a Nas and Falaq, and then these 2 surahs of Ubay, and so
Khala and Haft.
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Okay, so 5. So you know how Muslims they like talking about, oh, let's talk about the ending of Mark, or let's talk about the story of the adulterous woman, or let's talk about 1 John 5:7. Right? Muslims want to bring those points up. They think they don't have anything like that in their tradition. But you just heard him say that Muslim scholars here, scholars of the Islamic faith, they're not necessarily Muslim by their own belief system, but they are just, they're just telling us what the facts are, what Islam tells us about these people. And there are 5 questionable or disputed chapters in the Quran. Some people said that these are, inspired. Some people said they weren't inspired. So if a Muslim wants to bring up ending of Mark, adulterous woman, or 1 John 5:7, whatever they want to bring up, okay, we can answer that. We have answers for that. And now let's talk about the Quran. Are these 2 extra chapters from Ubay, are those part of the Quran? Or are they all wrong according to Ibn Masud? Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it, man. You guys hear that? You guys are hearing this. Throwing stones out of a glass house, man. It's crazy.
Exactly. So we have problems with the script used in the Quran as well, but I just want to check, do we have Muslims in the backstage? Or
yeah, we got 2 Muslims here. We got 2 Muslims.
So why don't we maybe we'll talk about the channel a little bit, then we'll bring the Muslims in?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Okay, let's all right. So I don't know if you want to keep this on the screen or not, it's up to you. But yeah, so we have basically, like Godlogic said, we have our goal for this stream, we're hoping to get to 7K subscribers. So if you guys like the content, you guys want to see more of this stuff, or you just want to support, Godlogic explained what they did to our previous channel, got banned, so we had to start a new one, and it's been really shooting off like amazing because of all of your support. All the support from the body of Christ, and we've even had people outside the body of Christ, like Apostate Prophet and others, who have really been showing love and support. Adam Seeker shouted us out. We had even a lot of Hindus coming in, so we have a lot of, even from the audience, we got a lot of people that we can witness to who are just subscribed now. So we got Muslims, we got atheists, Hindus, and things like that we can witness to. But so that's kind of Godlogic and I were talking before the stream, and that's kind of, we were hoping we could get to that goal with everyone's help. So I don't know if you have something you want to say about that. Do we take a call?
No, yeah, guys. So let me just share my screen real quick here so you guys can see their channel. Because like if we said, it's brand new that they just started and God is blowing it up. They're already at 5.8 thousand subscribers right now. And
we went up 200 just from being on the stream. Like
that's crazy. So guys, here it is. The goal is to get our brother and sister up to 7,000 by the end of this stream. Okay, let's subscribe. If you haven't done it already, it's in the description of this video and in the title, so it's right there. Just an easy click, and you can just go right there and subscribe. It just opened up a different tab. All right, but yeah, this is what they got so far. It's brand new. Got a couple videos up already, man.
Yeah, 2 live streams.
Top P.
Yeah, that was a funny one, man. He threw his own prophet under the bus with that. He didn't even know what he was doing. Andrew Tate.
Oh man, that's tough. But so everybody go watch this on your time, and I know I'm gonna have to play that when I get to the gym and listen to that. But yeah, guys, so they already got clips going up. All right, dang, you got 8,000 views already.
Yeah, man, that one went off. Like this was like we just this was our first clip from the last stream that we did.
Yeah,
and this one took off, man. It took off.
Wow.
This is that, maybe we'll get that Muslim back in here today. But yeah.
Well, yep. So here we are, guys. Oh dang, just a few seconds of scrolling up and then scroll back down. It's 8 point. All right, so look, guys, get this up to 7,000. Everybody subscribe. We're about to bring up some Muslims. And so here it is, guys. This is how we're going to do it. And this is going to be the rule from now on when I let up guests. From now on, I will be prioritizing guests who have their cameras on. Okay. Obviously, initially, to get up on the stage, you have to show your camera so that I can see that you're not a troll. But I will be prioritizing people who are showing their camera the whole time. All right. Because we like that type of engagement, to see people, show your face, man. You see my face. I would like to see your face. Everybody would like to see your face with the guests. So if you're a Muslim guest and you want to join, you want to stay long, if you do have your camera on, that is how you will be able to be prioritized and jump the list, because I always have a full panel, So if you want to get on and skip the line, have your cameras on. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring up Muhammad Kabiri. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, brother?
Nothing much. Welcome. So did you have anything you wanted to maybe object to with what was presented? Do you believe the Quran is perfectly preserved, word for word, letter for letter? What's your view on that?
Yes. Yeah, I do believe it's perfectly preserved. What's up, brother?
What's up, dude? Why are you always changing your name, man?
This is my actual name. This is my real name. So
is it really?
This is my
Okay, well, nice to
Muhammad
finally formally meet you, dude.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so go ahead, man. Tell us,
because I switched. I just downloaded this app, so I'm assuming just using the actual name default.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, talk to us.
I saw some of the stuff you guys brought up because I was in and out. I had kind of I was in a meeting, but I was like, let me stick on just in case you guys bring me up if you guys needed anything. But yeah, basically, man, we believe that's the beauty of Islam, that we believe the Quran is perfectly preserved, letter by letter, dot by dot. If you get rid of every single Quran right now, you could bring it back within the day or two. All you need is three people who memorized it, one reading, one correcting, and one writing it down.
Got it. I got you.
If you want me to explain the hadith, I saw a little bit. I saw one hadith that you guys put up, just like a FYI, so you don't, some Muslims, mashallah, they've studied the deen. So Dar Islam is a publisher. So if you want to go see if it's authentic and stuff like that, so you have to go to Sheikh Albani, different books, Ilm al-Rijal, then, but when it says Sahih, which I don't know about the hadith, I'm not saying it's not Sahih, but just a FYI, the Dar Islam is just a publisher, which is a great publisher, by the way, but when it comes to hadith, you got to go to the bigger dogs.
Okay, so yeah, we're definitely aware of that. We have all the sources, all the scholars authenticating the hadith that we bring up. But before we get into the details, when did you say that you believe that there's one Quran?
Yes.
What do you mean when you say one Quran?
What's up?
He said, "What do you mean when you say there's one Quran? What do you mean by that?"
So what Allah revealed to His Prophet, the final messenger, the with the sab'at al-huruf. Obviously, there's different qira'at. I know you guys like that topic, like Malik, that kind of stuff. But you'll never. It's under the same shade, giving more meaning. You'll never find a contradiction.
Okay, so just to be clear, so one Quran doesn't mean one text of the Quran.
However you want to put it, obviously there's different. There's Susi, there's Warish, there's Hamza, there's different qira'as, right, for the people, right? A different way to say something, right? Like king and owner. Some of the Arabs, they didn't have owner, right? So Allah said Malik.
Hold on.
Malik.
Arabs don't have owners? Hold on, I'm Arab. What's that?
I'm talking about the time when the Quran was revealed.
Who told you that?
So wait, at the time the Quran was revealed, there were no owners of anything in the Arab world?
No. Are you guys gonna let me finish my sentence? Usually me and Avery, we have a nice dialogue back and forth, but we let each other finish, so you get what I'm trying to say.
You can't deal with someone questioning you?
I can deal, but if you want to have like a fruitful dialogue, the way me and Avery have, there has to be like some kind of
but you talk about Arabs, man, like I'm Arab, like,
Okay, good. So you're Arab, I'm part Arab. So
okay. So are you saying there were no owners?
There were no owners. Wasted 45 seconds for no reason. The
Are there
Arabs,
no owners, dude? Were there any owners at the time of Muhammad? You said there were no owners.
no, I didn't
That's
say that. That's
crazy,
what I'm
dude.
saying. So I don't know if English is your second language. You need to listen.
No,
Let
it's
me
not.
finish
It's
what I'm
not.
saying.
It's not. It's
You have
not,
to
my
let me
man.
finish what
It's
I'm
not.
saying, right? Or you're not gonna know what I'm saying.
Okay, so Muhammad,
Is this your
Muhammad,
tactic to kind of
let's
shuffle?
let's
You know,
slow down. So Muhammad,
listen. Can I finish the sentence? Oh
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
God, this
But
is
hold on,
amazing.
But you can't say
I
something
have
crazy
no
like there are
problem
no
coming
Arab
into a
owners.
territory that's
That's
not.
crazy, dude. That's crazy to say there are no Arab owners,
yeah.
man. That's
I never
crazy.
said that.
Like,
Kings. Oh my God, you
Okay,
guys
okay.
are
So what
what
dialect
why you guys so
are you talking?
emotional? Let me finish the
Because what?
sentence, then
Because
then,
you,
then
you're
disagree
lying.
if you want.
Because you're lying. You're lying. So first of
You're
all,
lying. Wallah, you're lying.
that
I said the
you
kings,
said that there's a
Malik and
dialect.
Malik.
You
Why
said
are you
that there
guys
are
so?
songs. Listen, Muhammad.
No,
We
you
can't both
listen.
talk
You
at the
never
same
let me
time.
finish my sentence. Avery,
Okay,
what's up, bro? You
listen,
thinking let me
listen,
finish my sentence or no?
Muhammad, listen, Muhammad. So you said this is what you said. This is why
No,
daughter
no.
Christ
You
jumped
don't
in.
even
This is
know what
why
I
daughter
said. You never
Christ
let me
jumped in.
finish. How do you know
Listen.
what I said?
Now you're jumping in over me. So you're
No,
gonna
no. But
have
let
to
me finish my sentence. No, you
conduct
gotta let me
yourself.
finish my
Look,
sentence, or I'm not gonna
Muhammad.
have this dialogue, bro. No, you
So
gotta let me finish my sentence.
let's do this. Let's let him get it off,
Okay,
Thank you,
and
say what
Jazakallah.
you want to say.
and we'll
Okay,
address.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
All right, look,
go ahead.
Malik, this is what I was saying. Between Malik, some of the Arabs, the different dialect, the qira'at revealed they didn't know what kings were. So we have Malik and owner. So it gives more
What?
shade. You'll never find a contradiction, is what I'm saying. If I give me one contradiction in the Quran, I'll leave Islam right now.
Yeah, we'll show you.
You
Okay,
will
we'll show you
never,
that.
Okay.
ever. Yeah, I'll leave Islam right here. Find me one
Arabs
contradiction.
didn't know. Arabs didn't know what kings were. What?
In some parts, they didn't have kings. In some
What's your
parts of
proof? What's your proof?
so giving more meaning to the owner. That's what Malik and Malik.
Oh wow.
What is your proof for this?
If you go into
We don't
the
just
proof
we don't
for
just
some
talk,
of
we
these
don't just talk,
Bedouins,
we
there's
don't
many
just talk
proofs.
and say things. We give evidence.
Okay, so if Bedouins
No
didn't know
problem.
what kings were, if Bedouins didn't know
I
what
didn't.
kings were,
Yeah, some
how
Arabs.
come how come Allah in the Quran says that Pharaoh was a Malik, he was a king, when Arabs didn't know what kings were?
That's fine. I'm saying that it's giving you more. It's a deeper meaning. You'll
Yeah,
never
but you
find
didn't
the
say.
point is I'm making.
You said
One
some Bedouins
second.
didn't know what Malik was. They didn't know what king was.
1 second. You'll never find it's a deeper meaning. You'll never find a contradiction. Is there a contradiction between king and owner?
Muhammad, you keep saying there was not a contradiction. We'll show you a contradiction, but we're focusing on this point of Malik versus Malik right now because what
Okay.
you're saying is not true. So show me any source at all. I don't care what it is, any source at all that says that there are some tribes or that there are some Arabs who didn't have a word for king and a different word for owner in their dialect. So give us that evidence, because we have the opposite. We can go to early Islamic sources like Al-Tabari, for example, who explain the difference between Malik and Malik, and he doesn't say that they're both compatible with each other and that they just complement each other. He says that one of them is better and more correct than the other one. So let's go onto your source first, and then we'll give ours.
That's fine. Yeah, Tabari's a historian. He's like Ibn Kathir. He's going to bring you
No, he's
all
a
the
mufassir.
sources, and then the ulama have to go and dissect to get the
Yeah,
hadith
and
stuff
but
like
you're
that.
not.
Like Ibn Kathir,
You're nothing though. You're nothing though. You're not a mufassir. You're not a historian.
Yeah,
What are you?
Give us that source about the Malik, the king and the owner.
You
Yeah,
guys are very. I like how Avery's chilling. Good. Yeah, Avery, keep your blood pressure down. I don't know how you do. I don't know how you. You guys are very. It's funny. You guys are always making fun of Muslims, right?
because I know.
But you can't even let me talk. You two. You're so excited.
Because people make things up, my friend. Give us your source.
No. I'm telling you. So agree
Give
this week.
us
If you don't like my
source.
point,
Give us the
that's fine.
source.
If you don't like,
Give us the source.
agree. So I'll tell you, the Bedouins used to eat before Islam the
Okay.
skin,
Give
the
us
skin
the
of dead
source.
animals. They
Give
used
us
to
the
bury the
source.
daughters alive before Islam. They were
Give
the
us
biggest
the
alcoholics.
proof.
So
Yeah,
they don't. This is a bigger. So
Muhammad,
you're telling me
what?
1 second.
Muhammad,
So let me finish.
Give us the
You guys just
reference.
went off. I didn't interrupt you, right?
Dude, give us the reference.
I don't want to hear a story. Give me the reference.
So you're telling me there is a contradiction, king and owner. That's what you're
No.
saying.
Listen to what we're asking. You are the one who said that there were some Arab tribes who didn't have words for king and for owner, Malik and Malik.
Yeah,
You're saying,
where'd you get that from?
Where did you get this from? What's your evidence for that?
Yeah, apart from your brain, where'd you get that from?
There's a book, Al-Itqan. Look it up. I don't know which page.
What's the name of the scholar? What's the name of the scholar that says that?
I don't know about the scholar, but look it up. You have to find it.
So you don't have a reference.
Yeah,
you don't have a reference.
We won't find it.
I told you. Is there a contradiction between the two words? Is there a contradiction between the two words?
Don't change right now. We're going to show you a contradiction soon.
For something that specific, I don't have a reference for that.
We have to
so just to be clear, Omar, that you don't have a reference where you're pulling from where they didn't have a certain word for owner or king in certain Arab tribes or anything like that. You don't have a reference.
I don't know for that specific word. No, I do not.
So then why
great.
did you say that?
Not
Yeah,
on top of hand. I'm explaining to them that there's no contradiction between the
You want to
two.
take some?
Owner
You
and
want to
king.
take some time?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me
Yeah,
be the
that's-
good cop here. So I understand that you're saying that there's no contradictions and stuff, but you did
Yeah.
make a claim, right? You said the reason why, a certain word was used, like Malik or Malik, was because certain Arab tribes didn't have a word for like king or owner and stuff like that. That's what you said. So that's why they're asking you, what is your evidence for that? Where'd you get that from? So if you don't have
I
a
forget
source,
the book. Yeah, I could get it. I could pull it up, but I have my library here. I would have to.
you
go
said you
through
could
that.
pull it up.
I could probably, yeah, if I look for it, but it probably take some time.
How
Yeah.
much
Yeah,
time you
you
think
can
you need?
I don't remember.
Hold on, guys. How much time you think you need?
It's a book. I'm assuming it's called Al-Itqan. I'm assuming it's in there.
No,
but
no,
I
no.
don't remember.
Don't bring dude. You don't think we have Al-Itqan?
Yeah,
we
I've read
As-Sayuti.
I've read Al-Itqan.
Yeah,
It doesn't say that.
we have
I
these
doubt
books
it.
here.
I doubt you, brother. But okay, you
Okay,
probably.
Okay,
So,
then bring it then.
so
I doubt it. I'm just saying it's my
so
opinion.
far
I'm
you've
entitled to my own
demonstrated
opinion,
more
right?
knowledge.
It's
Muhammad, you're
America.
not in a place.
I doubt you
Muhammad,
read it, but okay.
Muhammad, you're not in a place to doubt anything because you're the only one who hasn't burned your references so far. So you said At-Tabari doesn't matter because he's a historian. I'm sorry.
No, I never
Who would
said
know-
that.
Who
I
would
said
know
no,
more?
no,
Who
I
would
never
know
said that.
more
Why you
about
lying?
Arab?
Wow,
Dude,
man.
Muhammad, why are you crying?
Don't put
now
words
you're-
into my
now you're
mouth,
cutting
minimum. If
Jai
we're gonna
off.
have a conversation. Don't
But
put
now-
words
wait,
in my
hold on,
mouth, though. Don't put words in
Muhammad,
my
now
mouth.
you're cutting Jai off.
Exactly.
No, but
he's
he's
complaining about getting interrupted.
misrepresenting me.
Well,
I said that you
okay,
don't
so
understand
look,
why he was a historian. You have to look at
respond to
yeah.
him, Muhammad. Respond to him when he's done.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
you want the same thing for him, right? So I'm gonna make sure
Yes.
that you
Yeah.
get to finish before
For
they
sure.
like cut you. I'll try to manage this, okay?
Perfect. Appreciate it.
So this is really simple. We can go to a source. And by the way, Al-Tabari is not just a historian. Al-Tabari is also a mufassir. He's also an interpreter. He's also a master of qira'at as well. He had a whole book on this topic. He had 20 plus readings of the Quran. He's also the teacher of Ibn Mujahid, someone who Muhammad probably doesn't even know who he is. And he's saying, you doubt we've read this stuff. So let's talk about what does Al-Tabari say? Does he say that there were some tribes that said Malik, meaning king, and there's some tribes that said Malik, meaning owner, and they just meant the same things, but just different dialects couldn't because they didn't have these words for it? No, he doesn't say that. In fact, what At-Tabari does, and I'll bring up the source, he says that out of these two readings, that the more correct reading is the reading Malik, king. It's the more correct reading. No, dude, relax. Hold on.
No, I agree with you. I said okay.
Okay, so good. Okay, so he continues on and he gives a form of reasoning for this. He says because it's known that every Malik, every owner doesn't necessarily necessitate that he's a king, but every king, every Malik necessitates the fact that he's also an owner. So he's saying that the word Malik encompasses more of a meaning and gives more glory to God. So therefore, this is the most correct reading. So go ahead.
Okay, I have no problem with that. What you just said.
Well, it contradicts everything you just said earlier, so you have to have a problem with it.
No, I have no problem. So if Tabari, if you're bringing this to me, obviously I'm looking into it. But the way you explain it, there's no problem. If there's a different dialect, there's a different way we say it's like French fries. How people in Texas or people in the UK will say fries and chips. That's all it is. If that's what you guys are looking for.
Yeah,
that's all it is. So
like
yeah, so if there's a better word to use, but it's still the Quran. That's what you have to understand, and you won't find one contradiction. You have to have different translations, but you never find different versions like you have in the Bible, like 73 books or 66 books, or the RSV different from the, you know what I mean, like verses completely taken out.
Okay, so first of all, you do have that in the Quran. You have Ibn Masud who took away 3 chapters of the Quran. You have Ubay who added 2 chapters of the Quran. So you have 5 disputed chapters in the Quran. Some people said these are from Allah. Yes, you do. We have the references for these. I can show you the references. And second of all, you don't agree with At-Tabari because At-Tabari doesn't say anything about dialects. He doesn't say anything about these being dialectical differences because actually At-Tabari knew Arabic and he knew about the Arab tribes, unlike you. So he knew that every single Arab knew how to say king. Every single Arab knew how to say owner. This is a part of the language. In fact, the very word that this is built, you can't actually have the word king without having the word owner, because if you know Arabic, you know that there's what's called a jadr, a root for these 2 words, and this root exists and it creates the word king, it creates the word owner. Both words are just different forms of this root. So there's no way you can have this root and not have these 2 words. There's no tribe that didn't have these 2 words. You can't show us any source that says that. You just made it up.
Yeah, and the Quran itself says that because in Surah 12, the Quran mentions قال الملك. The king says in the story of Yusuf, the king says, bring him to me. Surah 12, verse 80.
Exactly. So
and
that means
Surah 12, verse 17, the Malik says, the king says, I see in my dream. You know the story of Yusuf, I see in my dream. The dream that Yusuf interpreted for him. So if the Arabs didn't know what the word for king was, or some tribes like you claim, there's no way they would have understood the Quran until now. And there are no other versions of the Quran that render that word king in that surah said multiple times. There's no version of the Quran that renders it into something else that they could understand.
Exactly.
So to say that some Arabs didn't know what the word king was, it was just terrible, and it's a lie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Avery's cracking me out, dude. Okay. So basically,
nervous
so
laughter.
like I said, hey, you guys sound like some good du'a. You should join us at the table. So anyways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Hey, we do it for Jesus. We don't lie though. We do it for Jesus.
Yeah. We never claimed that
we
some
believe
Arabs
in
didn't know what
original. You know, there's the teachings of Jesus and about Jesus.
Okay, let's stay on this.
Let's stay on topic. Let's
on
not topic.
On topic. Is
Let's
that a
not
contradiction? Let's get to the meat of it. Let's go. I probably have to bounce in like 10, 15. I have a meeting. But is this a contradiction? Malik and owner.
Okay. Are you gonna apologize for pretending the Arabs didn't know what king was?
No, I'm not gonna. I would just give that as an example. Do you know that?
Yeah, that is a strong example. No, the Bedouins knew what king was.
I'll say this.
Yep.
If I'll go back. I'll go back and look it up in Al-Itqan.
Yeah, once you look it up, come back. Yeah.
Okay. The chapter that you just read, Malik and Nas.
Yep.
There's no other version of that says Malik and Nas. Every single version, every single reading that we have says Malik and Nas. So there wasn't. So you're saying that there were some tribes that wouldn't be able to understand that because they didn't have this word Malik, they didn't have the word king.
Yeah, I mean in Surah 12, for Surah Yusuf, Pharaoh is called Malik, the king of Egypt.
For sure, no, but the point.
So how can the Arabs not understand? How can the Arabs not understand? They heard it from Muhammad.
Yeah, but I didn't say the Arabs. I said
some Bedouins or whatever Bedouins you mean. How come they not
use
understand?
different words? So right now,
no, they didn't use different words because otherwise they wouldn't have heard the Quran or recited it or said it.
Okay, 1 second. Sir. I'm from San Diego. I go to Texas.
I don't care where you're from, my man. With respect, I don't care where you're from. Let's stick to the Arabs and bring your source.
I'm giving you an example. I'm giving you an example that's clear cut.
Because to say that people don't know what king is ridiculous. People from the dawn of time knew what king was in all places. So you need to bring me a reference to show me that those primitive Arab Bedouins that didn't know the right from the left didn't know what king was. It's not a complicated word, my friend.
But you're running.
I'm not running from what it was.
Don't run, daughter of Christ. Don't run.
Is it a contradiction?
I'm keeping you accountable for what you said. Like I said,
I told you, I could be wrong. I told you, I don't have.
You are wrong. Thank you very much.
I don't have the book. I have the books here. By the time I go and look, it'll probably take me 10 minutes.
Yeah, you said Al-Itqan and he doesn't say that. Otherwise, you would have got.
Oh, you have Al-Itqan memorized.
I read it.
I guarantee. Look, you can make a follow-up video to this because I know you're not going to be able to find it here. Make a follow-up video. If you can prove that it says that, then
we will apologize. We will apologize to you. But if you had it, you would have brought it up. And
I'm not a YouTuber. I don't have any videos, but I want you to answer the question. Okay, I already said I'm going to look it up.
Okay, you want a contradiction? Yes,
you want a contradiction. Let's go.
So
we'll show you a contradiction.
So let me finish. So you guys went on. So for example, where you have like, why kickest thyself against the pricks when Saul and Jesus, right? In the RSV, you're not going to find this verse where complete verses are taken out. 1 John 5:7.
Muhammad, don't change topics. We're not talking about the Bible right now.
This is on topic. This is verse against verse, words against words.
You want a contradiction or not?
But are you going to let me finish?
You said you'll leave Islam if you find a contradiction.
Let's leave Islam right now because there's a contradiction in front of my face right now.
By the way, do you know who Sheikh Shankiti is? Because you mentioned Tabari. Do you know who he was?
Yes, I actually did hadith with him when I was overseas.
Okay, great. So he's a reputable scholar. You wouldn't throw him under the bus, right? Because Avery's been counting all the scholars you've thrown under the bus. So you're not gonna throw him under the bus.
But first of all, though, I didn't throw any scholar under the bus. I just explained how things work. Okay,
so Sheikh Shankiti, he's a reputable scholar, right?
Depends which one.
What do you mean which one?
The Shankiti brothers. Shanaka, that's a tribe in Africa.
So you don't know who he is.
You don't know who he is.
Mukhtar and Shaqid, yes, I do. He teaches in Medina. I just
No,
told
we're
you.
not. We're not talking about him.
Why
We're talking
you guys?
about.
Are you guys Arab? You guys, I've noticed this Middle Eastern vibe. You guys like to push and like relax. This is California. Relax.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, but when
You
you
guys
say,
are very
when you
aggressive.
say, yeah, but
Calm
when you
down.
say Arabs were like so primitive, that hurts me because I'm Arab.
Yeah.
They were not that primitive. They didn't know what a king was, man.
Yeah.
My man.
So
No,
we're
I was
talking
trying to
about.
explain a point to you, but obviously, you
Okay,
didn't-
but
you
we're
didn't want
talking
to
about
take it.
Sheikh Hassan the big scholar,
Arabs. Go ahead.
Muhammad Al-Amin al-Shanqiti. That's what we're talking about. Do you know him?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Okay, so he's a big scholar. He taught people, like some of his students works in with like bin Baz, for example,
And Al-Uthaymeen.
and Al-Uthaymeen as well.
Who they are?
Obviously, yeah. They.
Okay, great.
So,
Yeah, he was
Muhammad
the
Amin
teacher.
Shanqiti. Okay,
Yes,
so is he
exactly.
still alive? This Muhammad Amin Shanqiti?
No, he's not
he's
alive.
not alive.
No.
He's dead.
Okay, Tom. Okay, guys. I want to make sure you guys know what you're talking about. Okay, good. At least
Well,
You're trying to test us.
Yeah,
dude.
you're the one who's asking, so I'm thinking you're asking because you don't know.
Okay.
Bin Baz,
So-
Ibn Uthaymeen, and Albani, they all passed away around the year 2000, 1999.
So let's bring up, because you said you'll leave Islam if you find a contradiction, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Okay,
Unlike the Bible, where
100%.
I'll give you thousands.
Okay,
Wow.
all right.
Whenever you're ready.
Can you just emphasize that? Ask him another time first, because
Yeah, can you also promise not to throw Shanqiti under the bus after this?
No, well, let's analyze it. He's not Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Yeah, but promise you won't throw him
me.
under the. Promise you won't throw him under the bus, though.
I won't throw him under the bus. No, I'm going to critique
Okay.
what he
Thank you
said.
very
Except
much. So, do you
for
have your-
Muhammad, except
Yeah.
from Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, everyone else, you have to check and you have to question, you have
Great.
to verify.
Okay, great. So do you have your Quran on you, or do you have a way to access it?
Usually, I give out English Quran, and I don't have one right now. It's funny. Yeah, right here. Go ahead.
Okay, chapter 11, verse 81. Can you read that first? Chapter 11, verse 81.
Yeah, the angels, O Lot, indeed, we are messengers of your Lord. They will never reach you. So set out with your family during a portion of the night, and let not any among you look back, except your wife. Indeed, she will be struck by that which strikes them. Indeed, their appointment is the morning, is not the morning near.
Okay,
Allahu Akbar.
okay.
Do you know the story of this or no?
Yeah. Hold on. Before you try to, wax eloquent, let's talk. Do you know Arabic? Can you read Arabic?
Yeah, I do pretty good.
Okay, so I mean, we're not trying to. I just want the reason why I want to know is because there's a grammatical issue at stake here. So I'm wondering how good your Arabic is, if you can catch it or not.
It's subtle, so if you don't know much Arabic, it may be wasted a little bit on you, with respect.
My Arabic it's decent. Obviously, I'm not Arab, but
Okay.
I thought you said you're part Arab before.
I'm part Arab. Like in where you memorize the Quran and you speak Arabic, according to the Prophet Muhammad, you're Arab.
Oh, so Muhammad said you're Arab if you speak Arabic?
He
Yes.
did say that.
No, I know. I just wanted to say it. I wanted to confirm it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
All right.
Okay,
Why are you guys so
so
proud you're Arab? You don't guys don't
no,
look
no,
at me.
we're- no one's
I'm
proud.
proud of Jesus Christ.
yeah, we're only
only.
proud. We're only proud of Jesus. That's it.
That message that you don't follow, right? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the message that we follow.
The message we follow by rejecting Islam completely.
If
Yes.
you could give me a miracle of today's, then I
okay,
will
hold
love
on.
to follow your
Wait, we're going to
religion.
show you a contradiction.
We'll give you the miracle of unpreservation.
Yeah. So, Godlogic, can you put this on the screen?
I'm
Oh,
waiting.
Sheikh,
I'm here.
Sheikh.
I'm waiting. I got the verse.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Allah,
yalla.
Lut alayhi salam.
Okay.
Sodom,
So,
Gomorrah.
all right. So, can you you see the text on the screen in front of you?
Yeah.
Can you see the Arabic?
Let
Let me try to make it bigger. Hold on. Let me see. Is that bigger?
We'll do this example with him, and then we'll move to the next guest to see
Okay.
if, or add someone to see if they can help.
Okay. So, why don't we help him out? We'll just read it on Hafs, and we'll
Yeah.
just.
So the Hafs that you're probably holding, it says.
It's an English Quran, but okay, go ahead.
Oh,
well, it's translated from Hafs.
We're reading the Arabic though now.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
Arabic.
that's
in front of you.
Yeah, verse 81, Surah
Okay.
11.
Mhm.
قالوا يا لوط إن رسل ربك لن يصلوا إليك فأسر بأهلك بقطع من الليل ولا يلتفت منكم أحد إلا امرأتك.
Okay.
Oh my God! Can I just start? I think I know what you're getting at. You want me to just explain it?
go ahead.
Talk about-
Yep.
You poor souls, dude.
Get him, Omar. Get him. Get him,
What do you think
Omar.
is going on here? What do you
Ready?
think is
Ready?
going on here? Yeah.
Yeah,
Ready?
Yeah.
Are you talking about where so Allah SWT is telling Lut, his messenger? First of all, do you know the story of Lut in the Quran?
Yeah, we
Your
know the story. Just stop, dude. Just get to the
Yeah,
point.
get
What,
to the
what, what do you
need to
think?
know
What do you think we're
what
trying?
the Quran says?
Yeah.
and
What
the
do you
hadith.
think? What do you think the point we're trying to make is, since you jumped in? Go ahead.
Bro, this is funny. So Lut alayhi salam, his wife was evil. his wife,
Okay,
even when the angels
what
came down
what
and stood
point
to
do
the
you think we're
coffin,
trying to make here? What point do you think we're
Yeah,
trying to
we know
make
she's
here?
evil.
I
Let's
see.
get to the
You
point.
have it. You have it highlighted. I'm trying to zoom in. Let me see if I hope it doesn't come out. There we go.
Okay.
So you're saying his regarding his wife, what to do with his
Correct.
wife?
Yeah.
Correct.
What about his wife? What about his wife?
So his wife, Lut alayhi salam was commanded to leave. His wife
Okay.
saw them. They were leaving together. His wife was the only one who looked back. So yes,
Okay.
Lut alayhi salam was commanded to leave to take his daughters and the righteous. I don't know how many followers he was to go and bounce. Boom, the punishment of Allah is coming. Okay, and
So
they
what
leave.
was his wife commanded? What was his wife commanded?
His wife was evil. The
What
command
was
was
she
to Lut alayhi
commanded?
salam.
What was she
We know
commanded?
she's evil.
So what was she commanded?
Yeah, what was she
In that
commanded?
verse that we just read,
What was she commanded?
what was he commanded to do with her? What was he commanded to do with her? The illam ra'atuka part.
Yeah. So it says, and let not any among you look back. So she broke the command of looking back. She's not supposed to look
Okay.
back. She looked
Okay.
back. She was taken by the adhab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay.
So which
Is that
your
one
question?
are you talking about? Which version are you talking about with that where that story is told?
I have the English Quran right here. Both is
Oh.
correct. Yeah.
Okay. So
Both is correct.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
so in the Arabic, okay, look this up within Arab if you don't believe us. What the grammar is doing here is something that it changes the command altogether. So if you read Hafs, the one that you just read, let me pull it up here to make it easier for us to follow along with. So if you, we can go to commentaries as well if you want. It doesn't matter. So in the majority
Take
of
her and
readings,
leave her is what you're saying. Is
in
that
the
right?
majority of readings, Lot was commanded, like the reading that you just read, he was commanded to bring his family out except his wife. Okay, so the first reading is bring out your family except your wife.
Yeah, leave her behind.
Leave her behind.
Leave her at home.
And don't let anyone look back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other reading, like in Ibn Kathir and Abu Amr, for example, Lot was commanded to bring out his whole family. It doesn't exclude anyone. But when it says don't let anyone look back, it says except your wife.
So she's with them in the second time.
So she's with them the second
I
one, not
love
with them in the first
it.
one.
Hey.
Yeah, but she looks back the
Avery,
second
come on, doggy. I thought you could give me something better than this.
Get him, Omar. Get
Okay.
him, man.
No
him.
problem, man. Come on, hey, because I know, Avery. I've brought him. I'm like, bro, you don't speak Arabic, so you brought some Arab. So I like that. Some Arab. So hey, look
Oh,
at
you
this.
don't speak Arabic.
Wait, is this a boxing match or a discussion?
Yeah, I mean,
what's with
Now you're trying to play. Now you're trying to play that card. Okay, no problem, sister.
No, I'm not playing
Let me
any
get you
card.
with this.
Get to
Ready?
it and stop the clowning. Get to it, man.
Come, you
Come on,
ready?
man.
Come on, get
You
to
guys
it.
ready? Yalla.
We've
Bismillah,
been ready for 10 minutes.
if I explain this to you, ready to take your shahada with you right now on this live.
You're not going to
If you're
explain
convinced.
anything because we haven't even gotten to your scholar Shankiti yet, who you're about to throw under the bus.
Your scholar.
Because
your
scholar admits the contradiction. Your scholar
What?
admits the contradiction.
No problem.
Yeah,
no
it's a big
problem.
problem because you just said you'll leave Islam.
Yeah, so you got back.
I will leave Islam. Give me a contradiction. Show me where unequivocal. So Jesus himself says, "I am God. Worship me." In the 2,000
what is this guy talking
in
about,
the
man?
27 books.
Oh,
I gotta throw it in there. You already know. But
Dawa-
okay, so let's continue. So no, let's stick on this verse. Here's this verse. Here's this verse. Here's the verse. Here's the verse.
Try to explain it.
Lut didn't tell his wife. By the way, he left. It's in the Quran.
We don't care about the telling.
What was he commanded to do? That's what we're asking you.
Okay,
no. With his wife. What was he commanded to do in regards to his wife?
With his wife, leave.
No.
Leave.
Okay, that's one reading of the Quran.
Commanded to bring his family, excluding his wife, so not telling his wife. So he was commanded to leave his wife. Right. Let me finish.
That's
so
one
his
reading
wife
of the Quran.
saw them leaving.
Muhammad, that's one reading of the Quran. He's commanded to leave except his wife. So leave with your family, except don't bring your wife with you. That's one reading of the Quran.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
The other reading, it says to bring your family. It doesn't say don't bring your wife, but it says don't let anyone look back except your wife. So if she's going to look back, it means what? It means that she went with them.
She's with them in the second time.
Absolutely. Exactly.
And then she looks back.
So you have to understand that even though she was evil, she knew he was a prophet of God. There's no doubt about it.
I don't care what she knew, dude. I don't care what she knew.
What we're talking about what the angels commanded. We're talking about what did the angels command.
Yeah, the angels command leave her at home in one reading, and in the other reading, take her with you, and then she will look back. That means she will be with them.
So I already explained this. She was basically a disbeliever.
Yeah, I know she's evil, dude. We know she's evil.
We're asking what the command was. We're asking what the command was. We're not asking about her.
Yeah, we know she's evil.
to my knowledge and to what I'm seeing right here, is to leave and not to tell anyone. Just take the believers, your daughters, and get out of there. And
Then how did she look
but
back?
she followed them. She followed them.
Do you have any evidence of that? That
That
she followed. Where does it say she followed, even though they didn't tell her?
My memory's been bad the last year, but pull up the tafsir. I could
your
definitely
memory's
provide
bad.
evidence.
Okay.
It's
You want a
bad
tafsir? Okay. You want a tafsir? Okay, yalla,
Yeah.
we have a tafsir. We have a
Here's
tafsir.
go.
Okay. So this one is Sheikh, your Sheikh that you said that you know about.
Yeah, Muhammad
apparently.
al-Amin al-Shanqiti, you even told us
Why
his
don't you
name.
pull up
Yeah.
Ibn Kathir for now and then come
Oh
to
yeah.
this?
Okay. Fine. You want Ibn Kathir? Fine. No problem.
Yeah.
We'll show
Yeah,
Ibn Kathir. Okay. Hold on. Let me. I have a Tabari. I have Ibn Kathir.
Here's Ibn Kathir.
Okay. Right here. Ibn Kathir. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. Let me make it big. Okay.
But you guys should read, man, so you don't fall into these little.
No. You're the one that needs to read.
Mine.
You're the one whose memory is bad.
I
Yeah.
agree. I need to read. I have the Bible right here. I have the Jehovah Witness Bible. I have the King James.
We don't need.
We don't care
highlighted
about
as
your
the
Jehovah's
Quran.
Bible. The Jehovah's Bible Witness can't help you here.
Okay. So you want Ibn Kathir? We have Ibn Kathir on the screen. So let's see Ibn Kathir if he's saying what you're saying, or he's agreeing that there's a problem, there's a contention here. So he's saying that the majority read this.
Mm-hmm.
The majority read this as travel with your family, except your wife. Okay.
Allahu Akbar. Okay.
That's the majority of readings. That's the majority of readings. Travel with your family, except your wife. So this is a command. We're not talking about the moral character of his wife here. We're talking about what was Lot commanded. He's commanded travel with your family, except your wife. And then he said, and this is how Ibn Masud read it, putting your wife in the accusative because it comes from an affirmation. So in their view, it must be put in the accusative. However, he says others read it. Other among the readers and grammarians said it is an exemption from his saying, and let not any of you look back except your wife.
Beautiful.
So in one case, she's commanded, don't take her out of the house. The other case, she comes out of the house, but she turns back.
No.
So there's a contradiction here.
No, man.
Because he
How
says
is the contradiction? Leave. She looked back. She got taken. Do not look back. Leave her.
We're talking about the
Back.
command. We're not talking about what. We're talking about the command. We're talking about the command. These are two contradictory commands.
Yeah, Muhammad, because he says, let not any of you look back. That includes him and his wife. So that means they were all there when she looked back.
Right. So she broke the command, right, by looking back.
But she was
taken. Leave her.
She was there.
Yeah, this is going way over his head. This is going way over his head.
In one place,
you have to bring the tafsir in one place. Yeah, sure.
We have so many different references, man. I'm sorry. This is like way above.
Should we bring someone else?
Yeah, let's bring someone else. But just for the sake of the chat, let's just clarify. We mentioned Shanqiti. You might be wondering, what did he say? Yeah. Well, he says very clearly that there is a contradiction in the verse. Yeah. He said, why is there a contradiction? Because the reading with the fatha, the reading that is in the majority of readings, indicates that he did not travel with her. And then the reading with the dhamma indicates that he traveled with her. So one reading indicates that he traveled with her. The other one says he did not travel with her. Sheikh Ash-Shanqiti says this is a contradiction. So if Muhammad had integrity, if Muhammad was an honorable person, he would leave Islam right now, because he said he'd leave Islam after he finds a contradiction.
Okay, so, where's the contradiction between
let's
what?
Leave it at that. Let's leave it at that, because
what's the contradiction though between the two readings?
Dude,
you still don't understand.
No, I understand. No. You're saying there's a contradiction between the Hafs, and what version is that?
Ibn Kathir. Yeah, this is. Yeah.
Do you know قراءة البزي?
Al-Bazi, no, I don't know that one. No. Okay, so
one of Ibn Kathir's.
You don't even know it. So let me say.
The Sheikh is saying there's a contradiction between these two verses.
Yes, my friend, it's in front of you on the screen.
I see it. Okay, yeah. Obviously, I'll look into this. I've never seen this before. Okay. But yeah, I gave you the explanation.
That's honest. That's honest. Yeah,
we appreciate that.
You got to look into it, man. You never do, man.
Oh, okay. He's one of those.
And come back to us.
I haven't seen you, man. I haven't seen you. Where have you been, Avery?
Been away.
Okay, so yeah,
I'll probably see you soon then. But anyways, yeah, basically,
I'll be in Balboa probably like I'll be in Balboa soon.
Your boy needs help.
Nah, he's holding his own. He's doing good over there.
Yeah, you think okay for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, basically, this I gave you the ruling of the tafsir how it is. So up to but with this specifically, you're saying of the Amr. I'm not sure. Obviously, I would have to.
Okay.
I'll look
Okay,
into
that's
it.
That's
That's
honest.
honest.
All right, so
Yeah.
we'll leave it at that then for until next time.
Yeah, look into
We'll
it.
bring
this
up
time, yeah?
we'll bring up
But
Abu Bakr.
And when you leave Islam, don't just leave Islam.
Yeah.
Repent and come to Jesus. All right, thanks for joining us.
See you soon.
if you guys could prove to me it's the truth, I'll come to Jesus.
Okay.
If you
Okay,
can
leave
prove
Islam
to me that
first,
the
though.
Bible is Jesus accepted this with Sanad, of course we'll come.
Okay, great. So let's go to
Yeah,
Abu
let's
Bakr.
everybody pray for him then.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So I was watching the presentation that you did, and there was a few things that I thought were a bit disingenuous because you were sharing some sources about the Ibn Mas'ud Quran and the Ubay ibn Ka'b, but then you're just ignoring that those are inauthentic sources. They're not actually reliable. So we don't have an exact number of what the number of chapters were, and the exact number of chapters were, and if we have a copy of the Quran, so we can't say if there were contradictions between that and the Uthmanic Quran. So if you come here and say that's an authentic source, it's being disingenuous.
Okay.
So which source don't you like?
Yeah. Which source?
What's the name of the source that you don't like?
Just so we can be clear.
Oh, you need to name your sources because
Yeah,
those
we have
sources,
named them, but you said the sources were not authentic. So how come you know?
they're not authentic. They're
Okay,
not from Bukhari.
How do you say they're not authentic if you don't know what? Can't even name
Yeah,
what they are?
which source did they share that was unauthentic?
No, they never showed any sources that were authentic.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So none of the sources we show were authentic?
No. You show, obviously you sprinkle in the Bukhari and the Muslim to say, Ubay ibn Ka'b was one of the people who were reliable, and then you slip that into some more inauthentic sources. So you try and
which one? Which one was inauthentic?
No, I just said the ones that weren't from Bukhari and Muslim were inauthentic.
Yeah, like which specific?
I don't
source
remember
did
the
you know?
source exactly, but the source that he mentioned about the 100.
How you know that he brought something unauthentic if you can't name it?
I don't remember off by my top of my head. Come on.
So what did it say though? Like maybe you don't have to say the name, but what did it say? Like what's a rough explanation of what it said? Just so we know, just so we have a source of reference.
Yeah, just so we
What
know.
you said that Ubay ibn Ka'b has 2 more chapters than the original Quran. Am I right?
Oh, okay. So do you want to show you multiple companions who said that those 2 extra chapters are part of the Quran? Do you want those?
Show me because I've heard that's authentic.
Okay.
So do you think that it's just Bukhari and Muslim that are authentic? Nothing else is authentic?
No, I never said that, but I'm saying that.
Okay.
Because you said sprinkled.
No, there has to be the Sahih chain of narration. So
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bukhari and Muslim have the Sahih chain of narration, but other narrations obviously have that same standard as well.
So do you take As-Suyuti, for example? Do you take him as authoritative? Is he a good scholar for you?
Who's As-Suyuti?
You don't even know who
Jalaluddin As-Suyuti?
Oh yeah. Tafsir Jalalain.
Jalalain, yeah, he's one of the Jalalain.
One of the Jalalains, yeah.
You take him?
Yeah, he's authentic, yeah.
Okay, great. He's authentic.
Perfect.
Okay, Godlogic, bro, can you put us up? Because we want to get, so just to be clear, because we did bring this up earlier, but we didn't get into great detail. He's challenging us on whether or not it's authentic that some companions had 2 extra chapters of the Quran.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Suyuti says that.
So we have, first of all, let's talk about what these chapters are. Maybe you'll recognize them.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll recognize them. I don't know.
Do you recognize these surahs, my friend? Surah Al-Khala and Surah Al-Hafad?
What's that?
Do you recognize?
Do you recognize them in the Quran?
No, I don't recognize them. They're not surahs.
Yeah, because they were the extra surahs that Suyuti said were in your Quran.
So not just Ubay, by the way, but okay, we have multiple references here. Ubay, one of them. We'll correct this typo, but okay. We have one from Anas as well. Anas says at the bottom here, he says, "By Allah, these 2 were sent down none other than from heaven."
Do you know who Anas is?
Anas bin you know
Anas ibn Malik?
And Ibn Abbas as well.
Do you know who Ibn Abbas is? Muhammad's cousin.
Hajar as well. A lot of sources, a lot of references.
And this source comes from Al-Suyuti's Ad-Durr al-Mansur, volume 1, page 695, the online version here.
So Jalaluddin As-Suyuti, he's one of the Jalalain. The Jalalain means the 2 Jalals. He's one of the Jalalain.
Yeah, and he said that Surah Al-Khala and Surah Al-Hafad, both surahs, were in the Mus'haf of Ubay ibn Ka'b. And the surah goes like this: "O Allah, we seek help and forgiveness from you. We praise you with goodness. We do not disbelieve in you. We disown and leave whoever rejects you." And this is, Hamad says, this is now a surah. And at the end here, you say, Anas said, "By Allah, these 2 surahs were sent down, none other than from heaven.
Ibn Abbas as well, Ubay,
And
Abu
Abu
Musa,
Musa.
Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, big names.
Where's
Ibn
Ibn-
Abbas too?
Where's
Yeah.
Ibn Abbas? Sorry.
Right,
Right there.
I don't know.
but-
I don't know if I can
but-
point to it, but
but
it's like
we
the
don't know.
last on the bottom line, right above the bottom line. It's in bold
It's in
print.
bold.
Yeah,
In the
but-
last
but-
paragraph.
But Ibn
It
Abbas,
says-
I'm pretty sure the tasfir credits him is inauthentic as well, and it's not been
But
made
you
by
said,
Ibn
but you
Abbas.
said
No,
Suyuti.
no. Oh, I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to
Yeah.
say the tafsir of Ibn. No, this is not. We're not talking
This is
about
not
tafsir Ibn
Tafsir Ibn
Abbas.
Abbas.
This-
This is As-Suyuti.
Yeah, this is
talking
As-Suyuti.
about Ibn Abbas, and you said
Yeah.
As-Suyuti was authentic, didn't you?
Yeah,
Listen, I don't know if this book is authentic or not. That's my point. But
Yeah,
but you
but
said it was authentic.
You said it's
I've-
As-Suyuti was authentic.
from my knowledge, I've heard that the narrations saying that
And by the way, there's
Abdullah ibn
more.
Mas'ud
There's more.
and Ubay ibn Ka'b from scholars have said that they have more surahs or less surahs than the original Quran is inauthentic. Now,
Yeah, did they ever show you the sources of them saying that it's
Yeah, they
inauthentic?
Because we have the sources right here.
Or
Yeah,
did they hold on, because this is important.
Okay.
Because we understand